Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We are in the book Genesis, chapter 13, verses 1 through 18. It starts off, we're told that Abram leaves Egypt after that whole ugly fiasco about his wife with the Pharaoh, right? And we're told now that he had become very wealthy in livestock and in silver. Well, a big part of that is because the Egyptians bought them off, right? And so now he's going into Canaan. And there he builds an altar and calls on the name, and in the name of the Lord. I mean, this altar is a place of worship. It's a place where he is preaching and teaching on who the Lord is, as the Lord has revealed himself to Abram. And he's teaching his people. Now, one of them was his nephew Lot, whom he's very close with. And the thing is to recognize is that it's his closest kinsman. And Lot has shared all the travails with Abram. But they have so many flocks and herds and tents that the ground can't support all of them together. That on top of that, they are exiles in the land of Canaan, and the folks who live there, the Canaanites and the Perizzites, don't want to give up that space for them. And lastly, that there's such quarreling amongst the herdsmen that Abram and Lot are not able to contain it. I'm sure they tried. So those are three reasons why then Abram and Lot decide to split up. And Abram, even though he is the elder and certainly the man with greater prestige, he takes the position of really being, I would even say, less than equal, because he lets Lot take the choice. And Lot looks with his eyes and sees a land. It's not the land that the Lord has quite promised. And so he goes, well, I'll take the better land. And he leaves Abram behind. And we know that land was well watered. And it's really clear what the text says. Before the wrath of God was visited upon Sodom and Gomorrah. And so after that, it would not be the same garden spot it was. And they part company. And Abram is moving around the land of Canaan. He's a herdsman. He's nomadic, right? And it says he pitched his tents around the area, and so did Lot. Lot's moving around various cities. But as we see in verse 13, the people of Sodom were extremely wicked, and they were sinning greatly against the Lord. And so, even though it was a beautiful and lush area, it was a very productive valley. At the same time, it's filled with wickedness. And we think about how, in our own time, right, that often those who seem to be blessed, we see people who are very wicked have great wealth, and it's always been that way. And wealth is not an indication necessarily of God's blessing. And so the Lord says to Abraham, look to where I'm sending you. And I want you to walk the land, the length and the breadth of it that I'm going to give to you. This is sort of his way of claiming title of it, is by walking the perimeter of it. And in fact, you'll hear about with Boaz how they exchange a shoe that would have walked on that land, and that's sort of the title. I got that from Chad Bird, and I want to give a shout out to all the great teaching he does on 40 Minutes in the Old Testament. Hey, thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.